Caribbean to Europe's coastlines. Also, prevailing westerly winds traveling over the Atlantic carry wet weather to regularly irrigate the land. The mild temperatures and moisture promote fertile growth. This in turn provides a variety of habitats for an astonishing range of species. We're on a journey during which we'll explore this wonderful wildlife. The journey began in the middle of the Atlantic, in the Azores. It will end in Iceland. It's a journey from the warm south to the colder north. Previously, we visited Portugal and Spain. We now head off to France, the Channel Islands, the southwest coastline of England, and Western Ireland. Eventually, we'll reach the mainland and islands of Scotland and the Faroe Islands. We're on an extraordinary journey of Atlantic-facing land and its wildlife. Some 100 kilometers south of Toulouse, in the French Pyrenees, you'll find the Orlu National Park. It's a stunning upland area. The national park is named after this summit, Mount Orlu, a vast slab of rock rising to the clouds. This part of the Pyrenees is warmed by the Mediterranean and gets rain from the Atlantic. During the winter, this rain falls as snow, so much snow that even in June it still lies on the highest slopes. It's a place where springs and summers rarely last more than 2 or 3 months. It's a difficult place for wildlife to survive. These are chamois goats. Being sure-footed and agile, they're perfectly adapted for life on steep rocky slopes. With the snow receding, they can browse on the very highest crags. As the spring and summer seasons are short on the Pyrenees summits, warm sunshine and soft ground are signals for rapid growth. Plants like trumpet gentian specialize in growing on high ground. Although they look delicate, they're hardy plants and can grow quickly to produce bright, colorful flowers which attract insects for pollination. On the lower slopes, cold-blooded reptiles are active. This lizard is using the sun's heat to warm up. It's shedding skin. It's become too big for its old one. Spring is a time for animals to get into peak condition. All this activity draws in birds of prey to the uplands. This is a young golden eagle looking for something to catch and eat. It's come to the right place. There are plenty of these around. They're marmots. They're a type of ground squirrel, and in fact are the largest squirrel species in the world. They're quite a fat little mammal, and there's a reason for this. As it's very cold in the Pyrenees from October to April, they hibernate for almost 8 months a year. When they wake up in the summer, they eat just about anything they can find to build up the weight they've lost during hibernation. They just eat, sunbathe, clean their fur, and have offspring. This is a youngster. It's sitting next to its mother lying flat on the rock, simply conserving all their energy. Occasionally there's time for play. These three youngsters clearly have energy to spare. With predators around, marmots have to be able to defend themselves from attack. They do this by having lookouts, an adult who keeps an eye out for any potential threats. If there's danger, it will call. The rest of the troop will soon vanish below the surface. They won't disappear for long. They'll soon be back up again and feeding. On the lowlands, 50 kilometers south of Toulouse, you'll find the rural region of Ariège. Here the land is fertile. There are rich pastures and crops. Most of them are growing in an old-fashioned way, without the use of poisonous pesticides. This allows wild plants and insects to thrive side by side with the crops. There's a constant, natural sound. It's the sound of wildlife. As there are so many insects on the crop, bee-eaters live and breed here. They're probably Europe's most colorful birds. They eat large insects, mostly bees and beetles, and catch them as they fly. European bee-eaters nest in southern Europe and spend the winter in tropical Africa. They're sociable birds who like being together. The best areas for wildlife in a crop field are along the edges. The thick vegetation is an excellent place to hide. This is a western whipsnake, waiting for a passing mouse, frog or lizard. It's watching with big open round pupils. It can move quickly, hence the name, whipsnake. It's not venomous, but simply uses stealth and speed to kill prey or to defend itself. It's a common snake that you'll find throughout southern France. The combination of Mediterranean heat, rain from the Atlantic, and land that's farmed in an old-fashioned way makes this field in Ariège a haven for wildlife. In effect, it's a snapshot of the natural landscape of lowland southern France of the past. A reminder of what's been lost in many parts of Europe because of modern land use. Some 60 kilometers west of Bordeaux, on the coast facing Arcachon Bay, you'll find Europe's largest sand dune. In common with many sand dunes in Western Europe, Pila sand dune has been formed by strong Atlantic winds that deposit sand along the coastline. The sand dune began to form around 5,000 years ago, after the sea levels had risen after the last ice age. It moves inland by about 7 meters each year. One important habitat, however, stands in its way. A wide boundary of pine trees. This is the Landes forest, Europe's largest coastal pine forest. It's a man-made plantation for the production of wood. Although it's not a natural wild landscape, it's a perfect habitat for many species of mammals and birds. This is a hobby, a small migratory falcon. Hobbies spend the winter in Africa and fly north to Europe during the spring to nest. The Montagu's harrier, a much bigger bird of prey, does the same. This is a male, and he's carrying prey in his talons. He's been joined by the female after calling her from the nest. He's brought food for her and passes it to her as they fly. She'll take the food back to the nest to eat or to give to her chicks if they've hatched. The nest will be on the ground among young trees. The surrounding tall vegetation helps to conceal its location. Montagu's harriers are found in many different types of habitat. But like many other species, they're dwindling in number. This female has been tagged so that information about her movements can be collected. They seem to like coastal forests, but will live on any open land where there's plenty of food and good safe areas for nesting. But there are few areas left in Western Europe where this is possible, which makes Landes forest a special location. As you travel further north, up Europe's west coast, the climate gradually becomes wetter. The prevailing southwesterly winds from the Atlantic bring rain, and this frequent rainfall leads to the formation of marshes on low-lying land. In Brittany, there's an impressive marshland 80 kilometers west of Nantes. After the Camargue, Bruyère National Park is the largest marsh in France. Approaching 400 square kilometers in size, it's a big area of wetland. Thousands of birds feed and nest here. Mammals also live on the marsh, but two are alien species. Muskrats are native to North America. They were brought to Europe around 100 years ago for the production of fur, but many animals escaped from the fur farms and quickly spread throughout Europe. A koipu is quite similar to the muskrat, and out of the water looks like a huge rat. This too was introduced to Europe for its fur, but this rodent originally comes from South America. Alien species usually become pests outside their natural environment, and these two mammals can do a lot of damage to plants and water channels in European wetlands, and this can harm the native wildlife. Measures are in place to control and eradicate them in many parts of Europe, which is important. There are few marshlands like Bruyère left in Western Europe. Similar marshlands elsewhere have been drained for agriculture and building. This one survived because it was used for centuries for the production of peat for fuel and reeds for roof thatching. Thankfully, this piece of France's natural landscape has been conserved, but it needs continuing protection. Not far from Bruyère National Park in southern Brittany, there's another outstanding special wetland area at Gironde. These man-made pools are a unique sight for wildlife, especially wetland birds. Sea salt has been produced in the Gironde region for more than 1,000 years and is still being produced here today.